Hey everyone, welcome to Be Our Guest, our new virtual happy hour with industry professionals. I'm Janki. I am the artistic director of Live and in Color. We are a not-for-profit theater based in New York and Connecticut, and our mission is to develop new plays and musicals that promote and celebrate diversity. While in-person programming is on pause, we are very happy to be offering more virtual programming like this interview today. We have some exciting news. We're currently in our month of giving, and we recently received a matching grant from the For Good Foundation. Any donations made before the end of June will be matched up to $10,000. And all proceeds directly support our artists as we create new plays and musicals that showcase underrepresented voices. To find out more about us, check out our website, theaterincolor.org. So now, grab a cocktail and start leaving your questions for our guest in the comments below. I am so excited to bring on an amazing recording artist, actor, singer, the star of Broadway's On Your Feet, and the recent Paper Mill Playhouse Unmasked, and the Netflix series El Vato. Please welcome Mauricio Martínez.
Hi. Hey, I have my drink ready.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited to be connected with you today.
Oh, thank you for being here. Where are you right now?
I'm in Manhattan, in my apartment, in my midtown apartment.
So, how has quarantine been treating you?
Well, it's been interesting. I think it's been a roller coaster of emotions, as everybody being in New York, and it definitely hit us hard, and especially our world, the entertainment world was hit pretty drastically. But I mean, I've been keeping myself busy and trying to stay positive. I don't succeed every day, but who does?
Right.
At the end of the day,
a roller coaster these past couple of weeks.
Yes, definitely. But looking forward to what's next, and
you grew up in Mexico and moved to New York City to attend drama school. In fact, we went to the same drama school.
To the same school, yes.
So what exposure did you have to musical theater growing up, and how did you decide to pursue acting?
Well, it's an interesting story, mine, because we didn't have musical theater where I come from. There was musical theater in Mexico City, but growing up in Monterrey, which is where I'm from, it's a very Americanized city. But my mom used to be, well, still is, a lover of musical films. Yeah. So she would literally pop in the VHS or even the remember Vita?
Oh yeah.
So I would watch Hello Dolly, the Sound of Music, Grease, over and over and over again, and I just realized that I wanted to do that growing up. But then as I grew older, I realized that most of those films came from the theater, and that they came from a place called Broadway, and that Broadway was in New York. So I fell in love with the whole Broadway world. And I started to do some research, and I started buying albums, and I listened to cast recordings, and I just fell in love with it. And by the time I was 17, I had already done a couple musicals back home, but never professional. But I decided to audition for AMDA. So I came before I turned 18. I auditioned, and then I was accepted, and I moved to New York when I was 18, and then the rest is history. I never looked back, and I became an instant musical theater lover and doer.
Well, you have had an incredible career. In Mexico, you are a household name there. You performed in many telenovelas and Mexican productions of musicals, Beauty and the Beast, Jesus Christ Superstar. What is it like living in New York, where you can fly a little more under the radar?
Well, it's definitely, I like it. Yeah, I love it, because it's, New York that's what's fascinating about New York, but like, for an example, in Mexico, if I ride the subway, and somebody catches me or takes a picture, the next day I'll be in the news and it'll be like, oh, Mauricio's broke because he's riding the subway, because he doesn't have a car, that sort of thing. And it's like, no, guys, I just like to ride the subway, or the bike. And that's what it's like over here, and that's what I love about New York. I mean, the other day I was running in the park and I saw Robert De Niro in his bike with his kid, I think, or grandkid. So that's like a couple of months ago, before this started, I saw Naomi Watts literally in front of me and on the subway, or Kevin Bacon running in the park next to me. And that's the beauty of New York, that we all can be the same, and I love that. That's definitely very different than Mexico, for sure.
Yeah, but I love that about the city too. So you are very open on social media about being a 4-time cancer survivor and advocating for mental health.
Yes.
Why is it so important to you to be so open with your followers?
Well, I think people that follow you need one, honesty. I grew up in a world where artists were almost unreachable and untouchable, and I never liked that. I think just being humble. And as I grew older and I met some of the best and the greatest artists from back home, and even I've gotten the chance to meet some of the greatest here, and just being so close to people like Gloria Estefan, Emilio Estefan, working with them and just living with them and traveling and seeing how they treat. I mean, they're literally in Washington with like the president, and they treat the same way they treat somebody that opens the door for them at a restaurant. It's exactly the same. So I love that about them, and I just learned to be humble and to be open. And I think if you have a platform that you've worked so hard to get, and you have thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers, you have to be honest. And I've lived through so much. I've gone through so much. I'm a 4-time cancer survivor. I've dealt with mental health issues too. So I choose to be open about it, hopefully to inspire somebody and make their struggle a bit lighter. I'm also openly gay, and I'm open about that. I try to be as honest as possible. I think it's the least that people that follow you and support you deserve.
That's so wonderful. I mean, so many people look up to you. When you were growing up, did you have any role models or people you looked up to?
Barbra Streisand has always been definitely. Barbra Streisand, Bette Midler too. I used to love John Travolta, but the way, I still do, but I miss his dancing. I wish he could dance more. Growing now, I love Hugh Jackman. I love the way he's done managed his career. But just Barbra Streisand is a great example of how she manages her whole career, and is also very outspoken about her beliefs and what she supports, and is not afraid to talk about politics or health or stuff. Or Bette Midler too. I follow her on Twitter, and
oh my God, her Twitter account is amazing.
She's wonderful, so. Yeah, but I've always looked up to artists like that. I used to love Diana Ross too as a kid, Frank Sinatra. In Mexico, I have plenty of great artists. But Selena was one of my favorites, who then J-Lo immortalized on film. I grew up in a very diverse household because I was learning English, but being from Mexico, I grew up with both cultures. So I would watch both English and Spanish movies, films, listen to records. And so I understood people like Gloria Estefan or Julio Iglesias, because I was like, oh, they recorded the same song in both languages. Oh, so they're kind of like me. So I could relate to that growing up, being bicultural.
That's so wonderful. So a few months ago, you were performing at the Paper Mill Playhouse in Unmasked, the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yes.
We're going to show a little clip of it first here.
Oh, wow.
Show me there's a reason for you wanting me to die. You're far too keen on where and how, and not so hard on why.
Those are some high notes, man. You sound amazing. How did you get involved with the production, and what was the experience like?
Well, I was asked to audition last year,
Yeah.
at the beginning of last year, and I immediately said yes. And little did I know that Andrew Lloyd Webber was going to be literally, I mean, supervising everything, and I fell in love with the project. I sang Gethsemane in Spanish first, and then they asked me to do it again in English. And yeah, I was booked, but it was an interesting process because we were 10 actors and singers who were all the leads in a way, but we didn't know who was going to get what song until we started rehearsing. So the first day of rehearsal, we got the songs that we were performing, and when they told me I was going to sing Gethsemane, I just like bawled, because it's been a very important song in my life, because I played Jesus in Mexico, but I had never performed this song in English before. So when I finally met Andrew, and we were together and we worked on the song together, and he really enjoyed the performance and everything, and he gave me a hug, and it was, I mean, talk about a life-altering experience, you know. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber in front of you, and you're singing those high notes and crying. So so it was wonderful, and yeah, it was a beautiful project. There's still life to it. We just don't know what's next still, but it was wonderful, and I love being in Paper Mill. I had never been there before, and I fell in love with the theater and the people, and they're all great. Yeah,
that's terrific. So you worked very closely with Emilio and Gloria Estefan, and you start on Broadway and On Your Feet, on Broadway and the national tour.
Yes.
What are some of the biggest lessons you learned from these two amazing icons?
Well, Gloria always used to say, she always said it in Spanish, but she always used to say, enjoy this moment because it goes by so fast, you know? And she's right. All of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, the tour was over. Or my participation in the tour was over. And Emilio would always tell me to rest, always. He said, don't go out partying, or, you know? He said, just go to the hotel room and rest, because you need to be strong, and you're the lead, and you're the head of the company, and you're also representing me, so you have to look good, you know. So, but I mean, yeah, and just they're humble. I mean, how humble they are, and how gracious they are. They've become friends now. We're family, and I'm blessed to have them in my life, and they've become mentors. But I think the best lesson that I got from both of them is just that humility, you know, complete humility, and beautiful, like just a beautiful, genuine humbleness to them. It's amazing how they both stopped with each and every single person that stops them and asks them for a picture or an autograph, and they just don't stop like for a second. They actually have a conversation, and they have eye contact, and they receive gifts, and it's just beautiful to see, because here I am, like 30 or 40 years prior to what they have now, and all of a sudden you can feel tired to say hi to fans after a show because you're exhausted or you're going through something personal, but they set the example, and you're like, nope, you have to be like that, like them, because they're the ones that they're setting the example, you know.
Yeah, they really are incredible people and such pros. Speaking of Emilio, he became one of the biggest, most successful music producers in history, and you played him. He was a Cuban immigrant who achieved the American dream, which is very similar to you. What was it like being in a show that so reflected your life?
It was amazing. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better show to make my Broadway debut with than On Your Feet, and playing him. And getting to know him through the process. And the script, I mean, Alex Inalares, who wrote the book, he won the Oscar for the book of Birdman.
I worked with Alex. I directed his first musical, Xanadu.
Oh, there you go. I mean, so you know the guy. His work is remarkable, and I mean, I had the best monologues. One in particular that was the one in the record company where Emilio stands up for both him and Gloria, and he stands up and he tells the A&R that tells them that they would never cross over then they never believed in them, and he literally said, "You want to cross over? Fine. Lose the drums, lose the percussions, change your name." So Emilio stands up and he says, "Change my name? That's not my name. That's my father's name and my grandfather's name." And he just goes like a machine. And I mean, it was almost as if it felt as if it had been written for me, you know, because I was going through my whole green card process when I was doing the show. So, and I got to play him not only on Broadway, but in every major city in this country. I mean, imagine being in Washington and saying with a thick accent, "This is what an American looks like," and being Mexican and being in America at this time, particularly this time with the administration we have and everything. It was very, very powerful. And the audience cheered. I mean, there were times where I had to literally stop for a minute so that the audience could calm down, because they felt so inspired, I think, because it is a perfect story about the American dream and of two immigrants who made it and who crossed over and who never forgot where they came from. So for me, being a Latino and playing him, it was a dream come true. It was the merging of both of my worlds, my Spanish-speaking world and my Broadway English American world. They merged together in a beautiful way.
That's so wonderful. Speaking of the American dream, we actually have another person here who I believe is from the same town as you in Mexico, and also from the U.S. to pursue their dream. I think you may have worked with him.
Oh. I know who you're talking about.
It's Jaime, but he's not coming up. Jaime,
he always likes to make an entrance.
I know.
Hello. How are you all?
Good. We can hear you, but we can't see you. Oh, there you are.
There he is.
Hi,
I just was trying to make an entrance. Yeah. I'm finally here.
He always wants to overshadow me.
No, I can't. No one can't overshadow me. You know that.
Jaime, how's the family?
We're doing okay. Just, hanging in there. I mean, trying to stay positive, trying to stay creative during this hard time. But and staying, I mean, we message each other. Mauricio and I, we're all day messaging each other. And how are you? What are you doing? And just trying to stay connected with a friend. That's very important because you never know. Maybe just a text makes a difference.
Yes,
definitely.
These times, yeah.
How did you guys first meet, the two of you?
We met when I did Jesus Christ Superstar back in 2011, I think, in my hometown, in our hometown. And he was, you were living in New York at the time? Or
no, I was back in Monterrey because I lose my visa.
Okay.
Because I applied for my work visa and my lawyer was a scam. They denied my visa. And then I lose my tourist visa. I lost it somewhere. And I couldn't come back to New York City. That was after Yellow Brick Road. Around those, that was 2011, I think. So I stayed in Monterrey.
To the show, and he wrote at Mexico's most important newspaper, kind of like the Mexican Times, and he wrote a beautiful review and spoke like beautifully about my work. So I sent him a message, I think through Facebook. And then the next day, he came to the theater because he was very good friends with the actor who played Judas. And we shared a dressing room. So he came and we just started talking. We hit it off. And then a year or so later, he invited me to do the last 5 years back home too, in my hometown. So I did a limited engagement with him. And then the friendship just started to grow and grow and grow until he asked me to come to New York to make my New York stage debut. In Children of Salt at Nymph, a beautiful musical that we're currently working on turning it into a film.
Oh, really? That's some exciting news.
And that got me on your feet because the casting director of On Your Feet saw me in Children of Salt and then contacted my office and invited me to audition for On Your Feet. And that's how it all started. And then he became my musical director, and I mean, we're family. This man.
Well, you guys have done countless productions together. A Spanish production of the last 5 years.
Yes.
Jaime's new musical, Present Perfect.
Yes.
Which Live and in Color workshop last year, which was very exciting to get to work with both of you. And so many concerts together, including your 54 Below debut, De Mexico to Broadway, and so many other projects. Actually, we have a clip of De Mexico to Broadway, and if you look closely, you'll see Jaime conducting in the background.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah, that's me. The guy doing the hand choreography.
Well, the hand choreography.
Why do you enjoy collaborating so much?
Well, because he just gets me. I mean, he understands. We have the same crazy mind, and he understands my voice and my range and my passion and my craziness. He gets me because I'm very temperamental and I'm crazy, you know. And he gets me, and he writes songs specifically thinking about me and the arrangements. I don't know. Why do we work together so much?
You know, I think that we know that if I call Mauricio like tomorrow I need this, he's gonna be there. And the same if he called me one day, I need you here in 3 hours, or I need you here to do this, I'm gonna be there. So that's our collaboration. I mean, we're always there for each other, and not just like working. I mean, even in when I have had like a hard time, like financially, or I mean, we always like try to help each other. And you know, now tacos is on me, and no, now tacos is on me, and you know.
Well, I used to stay in his apartment when I came to audition. For every single audition, I would stay at his apartment, and Alonso was just a little baby, and I babysit for them every now and then. I mean, we're family, literally family. I mean, through our ups and downs, and but we're always trying to make music, and we're always trying to just inspire and be like Jaime says, La Familia, no? Which is this group of talented performers that I'm honored to be a part of. That we're all family, including his wife, and a lot of friends that are mostly Latino, but there are some non-Latino theirs that are part of our familia, you know? And that's a beautiful thing to have. We need community.
Totally, it's so important, especially in our business, to have those people you can turn to and support you. Jaime, you just released a new song this weekend called Cold Night, sung by the Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter and guitarist Raul Midon. How did this collaboration come about?
I just reached to him, you know. I'm the same way that I actually reached to Mauricio. I mean, the first time we became like Facebook friends, Mauricio and I. And then we start collaborating. You know, I'm someone that I'm not afraid to reach people. So I reached this guy, Raul Midon, is an amazing jazz singer, guitarist. He has been nominated 2 times to the Grammy. And I sent him a song that's very different to the thing that he usually sings. Is that because he doesn't do like a storytelling song. It's more like a jazz and a pop sound. And he got very excited about the song. I mean, his family, his father is from Argentina, so he has an immigrant experience as well. And we're very excited about this project that is actually, that Mauricio was talking about, this project, Jaime Lozano and the Familia. And Mauricio and I, we are like getting, putting together a few songs as well that we're recording the next couple of days. And we're very excited to share those songs with you as well.
That's so wonderful. You guys are so busy with a million projects. You just keep going and going.
Well, we have to.
I know, right? So I want to talk a little bit about Present Perfect, which you wrote with Nancy Chesser that we did workshop last year and Mao starred in. Where did the inspiration for the show come from?
Well, Nancy started writing this project like 15 years ago, a little bit more. And she's an English as a second language teacher. So most of the stories in the show came from her own experience. Of course, now we are working like in dramaturgically to make something to make more better journey. But what better story that our own story, the immigrant stories. So she has known like all these students, and she started putting together all the stories and working in a show. She wanted to do like a TV show first, and I actually got involved in that show the first time when we were doing actually Yellow Brick Road. Everything's coming back to Yellow Brick Road.
Yellow Brick Road, right?
She came to see Yellow Brick Road, and we met for the first time. And we were supposed to work together, but at that time, because I lost my visa and I went back to Mexico, we weren't able to make it happen.
Yeah.
And it was till I got back with my wife Florencia in 2015, and she came to Children of Salt. She came to see the show, and we got together again in a restaurant that was like next door to the theater where we were doing Children of Salt, and we started working like finally in the project. That was 2016. And then we have our first stage reading like in the next few months, and then we did these 2 readings with you. That was one of the most amazing experiences. I just love working with you both. I mean, with Deb, it's not the first time we did Yellow Brick Road, and we have been working in a few projects. That is what is beautiful about musical theater. I mean, this networking and the collaboration process.
Yeah.
And then when we were doing that show, the second reading that we did here in New York with Live and in Color, this amazing company supporting how do you say now? BIPOC people, right?
Yeah.
We call it now.
POC.
They added more letters.
Yeah.
It's just very confused. Sorry. We're not used to this in Mexico. It's a very different culture.
Yeah.
And just getting it's part of our immigrant issues that we don't know what is right, what is wrong in dealing with all this and learning.
Where do we fit?
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. But so Live and in Color is very helpful to all.
Well,
for all us as immigrant and people of color writers and performers. And Mauricio joined the second reading. I mean, I contacted him, and as I told you before, he told me, "Do you need me there? I want to be there." And he just flew for the reading.
So I want to talk a little bit about, our mission at Live and in Color is, our big thing is to connect diverse communities to create new stage works. For you too, what does having a diverse working environment mean to you?
I mean, that's how life is, and that's how the world is, especially, in this country. Most of us are immigrants, and or we come from immigrants, so, and just the diversity that this nation has, and working in that environment just is a reflection of the world as it should be, and now that we're living on such interesting times where race and ethnicity is in the conversation everywhere, I think it's even more rewarding and refreshing to know that people are opening their hearts and opening their minds to realize that we're all the same and that we're all equal. So that having a diverse cast and having a diverse creative team, such as yourself. I mean, look at Present Perfect. You were directing it. I was in the cast with a bunch of other different nationalities, and a Mexican wrote the music, and then the lyrics and the story is from a Jewish beautiful woman. We're all so diverse, and that's just a reflection of how life is. I grew up speaking 2 languages, growing in 2 cultures, living in 2 countries. So it's just a reflection of how my life is. I would never want to work in a place or in an environment that's not diverse.
Yeah, absolutely. We are starting to run out of time, but let's quickly take 2 questions. Oh, here's one. We are facing very hard times for live events. How do you see the future of the theater industry? Ooh, that's a That's a big one.
Well,
It's very uncertain. I mean, right now we don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, they have been just postponing, like coming back, and
yeah,
more and more and more. And now that it's almost a fact that we're going till January actually, and actually we don't know that it's gonna happen.
Hmm.
So I mean,
yeah. Even in the UK, I think they just gave the order that theaters can open, but they can't have live events. So I'm like, then what's the point?
I know, right?
But yeah, it's definitely uncertain. But I think we as artists, as theater performers and theater doers, we've always been resilient. So we know how to reinvent ourselves. But it's very hard when the work is live,
Hmm.
and you can't be live right now. So we'll see. Hopefully, when a vaccine is ready, we'll be able to reopen. I understand how producers are not willing to risk, just in case there's a second wave or people get infected again, and it's just so nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know what? Maybe we don't have theaters and we don't have like live audience like in front of us, but the two most important thing that is the actors and the stories, they are still there. I mean, we are the ones
Right.
writing the stories. We are the one telling the stories. So this is an invitation. If you see like any kind of event happening online and there's a way to support,
Yeah.
like with money
this,
or
yeah.
whatever, just feel free because we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't. So any help right now, it's a huge help.
Yeah. So another question: do you see a new model emerging, like Hamilton being streamed via Disney? Do you see opportunities there to switch the model up?
Okay. Well, yeah, I've done several streaming. Even my concert was streamed. But the thing with that is that it's only one performance. Like Hamilton is going to be streamed, but it's a movie version. Like they filmed it as a movie with different cameras, and it's shot one performance, and that's it. So yes, it's going to be streaming, and that's a wonderful thing, and that's how people are going to get Hamilton into their homes. But the people must understand that people that do theater, we live off of doing eight shows a week. So it's not the same as doing a movie for streaming once, and then people are saying, what if we just show up to the theater and you stream it every night? Yeah, but that would kill the main point of theater. I think it's very interesting. I think it all comes down to the vaccine, because once the vaccine is there out in the open and people can have it, people will stop being afraid, and they will show up to the theater. And but most of us too are afraid. As a performer, I have to be extra careful. I'm a 4-time cancer survivor, so my immune system is not as strong as a 30-year-old who hasn't had any surgeries, so I don't know. We'll see.
You just have to wait and sort of wait it out and see what happens.
Yeah, it's just one day at a time.
Yeah,
actually, one day at a
that's
time.
all we can do.
But I do have to say, it's been inspiring to see companies, and I've been asked to do the 24-hour plays and monologues and musicals and readings and concerts and fundraisers. It's been beautiful to see how, once again, the theater world, literally all over the world, specifically in my case and Jaime's case, we see the Broadway American world and the Mexican theater world come together, and defining what a community is, and that's been beautiful. And remembering, I like to always remind people that in times of crisis, people always turn to art to lift their spirits up and to inspire them and to make them feel disconnected a little bit from the reality that can be scary right now. So in the same way everybody turned to art, I always tell them, remember that when the crisis is over. And remember that when you ask for a ticket for free, or artists have to pay the bills too. We're not all superstars.
Well, I could talk to the two of you all day, but we've run out of time. But before we go, I want to remind everyone that donations to Live and in Color can be made by the end of the month. They will all be matched up to $10,000,
Wow.
which is very exciting. Please help us to continue our work of fostering an inclusive environment and creating platforms that showcase underrepresented voices. I really believe the stories we tell can change hearts and minds. All donations made go directly to supporting our company and our amazing artists, like these two wonderful gentlemen. And be sure to turn in to be our guest next week when I will be talking to Robin De Jesus,
Wow.
Tony
Hey.
Robbins, actor, star of Broadway's In the Heights, Wicked, and Boys in the Band. It's going to be an amazing conversation. And thank you to everyone that tuned in today. Thank you, Mauricio and
Thank
Jaime,
you.
for joining
Thank
me.
you.
Would you lead us in a little toast before we go?
Yes.
Oh, wait, let me go for my drink. It's right
There we go.
here.
Yes. Here's to all the theater doers and makers who are crazy like we are. And, here's to the future of our world and to staying healthy and staying inspired and creative.
Fantastic. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
The mornings run together. Seems like one long day. You're going through the motions. What does it matter? Does it matter anyway? Wishing things were different when the world is cold and gray. It's the same old song that's playing with the same old things to say. Someone should mix things up. Someone should take a chance. Someone should sing a new number. Someone should dance a new dance and change the story. Come on and change the scene. Choose the beginning, the ending in between. It's time to change the story. It's time to change the tune. See how the future looks bright. Change on the horizon. Coming soon. And suddenly you're not lonely. Burned out from 9 to 5. Suddenly you have purpose. You feel alive. Here everyone is welcome. Come in love and dignity. 'Cause when we come together, that's when we're truly free. Come on and mix things up. Come on and take a chance. Come on and sing a new number. Come on and dance. Let's change the story. Come on and change the scene. Change the beginning. The ending in between. It's time to change the story. Come on and change the tune. See how the future